And I ask that you continue to rain down blessings, I just pray that, Nathan's successful in whatever he does moving forward. And I just ask that this goes well. So thank you, Father. In Jesus Christ's name that I pray, amen.
Amen. Alright, you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Alright, Felser, welcome to the podcast.
What's going on, buddy?
Doing alright. How about yourself?
I'm doing well.
Cool.
I'm definitely, it's been a little hectic here recently, but
yeah.
I'm doing alright.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's go ahead and give yourself a little introduction so we can get it started.
Should I look at the camera?
Do whatever, man.
Alright, so my name is Ellison Felter. I'm from Monroe, Louisiana. I'm a Louisiana boy.
Mm-hmm.
I went and served in the United States Air Force when I turned 20. I got out when I was 24. I'm 25 now. I've been doing music since I was basically 19. I've been doing music my whole life, but since I was 19, I've really been doing it. So
cool. It's
got to a pretty cool point now.
Yeah. I mean, I've been seeing you, on SoundCloud. I'll do a little plug-in, shout out Lil Felt Dex. And dude, I see your SoundCloud plays going like 100,000, 200,000 plays. I'm like, dang, man, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's get started into your story of like how you got into the military. So, what made you want to join?
Basically, I wanted to experience. When I was younger, I wasn't always like, patriotic. Like I gotta defend my country. I felt that call, and I felt that American spirit, But realistically, it was just to get out of my hometown at the time. But as I matured, I definitely think it taught me some things about life and how a man should operate.
Definitely.
In a lot of ways. But yeah.
What kind of things that you think you learned from being in the military?
So one of my biggest regrets, and God forbid, but I know that everything's crazy right now, is I didn't go through in it was peacetime while I was in.
Yeah.
But I remember when the stuff with Ukraine happened, we had our commander's call.
Yeah.
And I just remember the way that everybody moved. That day was just different.
Yeah.
It was like you could feel
the tension.
Yeah, it's not tension, it was a good thing. It was
really?
Like nobody wants to go to war. Nobody wants to, but you could feel like that's my brother right there. That's my brother right there. Like we're going into this.
Like y'all were ready.
Yeah, we were ready immediately at a second's notice because when you have your brothers, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But thankfully it never turned into. I mean, I know that stuff's still going on.
So, of course,
but, thankfully it never got to that while I was in. But
yeah.
That was one of my biggest regrets. It's almost feeling unfulfilled in my service.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like a lot of people a lot of veterans can have that same feeling, seeing people other veterans here at the SVA or, for example, my father who served 20 years in the Army.
Yeah,
he's a Ranger, and they called him, the magnet for all kinds of, attacks, and, whenever he would fly out, he would get attacked. So he was the action man.
Yeah.
And so I feel like a lot of service members don't get that, and but that's that's what a lot of people want to go into. But so when you joined the military, why specifically did you join the Air Force?
That's what everybody told me to go because they say that the Air Force is usually for people that are a little bit more smart.
Yeah.
I actually was originally gonna join the Marines because when I was 18, some girl broke my heart, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go join the Marines.
Get tough.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But I remember I hurt something in my leg, and they have something called their delayed entry program.
Okay.
And the Marines and we need the Marines. Don't get it twisted.
100%.
But I remember I hurt something in my leg running because I was training so hard.
Yeah.
And when I went to the monthly, they would have monthly checkups where we all gather up.
Yeah.
And I think it was somewhere in Louisiana, but I remember the liaison. I didn't feel like my recruiter told me I wouldn't have to go run. Like I was in good shape, but the liaison, he basically told me like you're gonna run it, like you're gonna have to run it.
Yeah.
And it's like that's when I kind of figured out. I was like, okay, maybe the Marines is not the best option for me. And we need people like that are absolutely like die hard.
Oh yeah.
But I just felt like the Air Force was a better fit for me.
Do you coming out of the military? Do you think you made the right choice of joining the Air Force? Do you think that was a good fit for you?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why's that?
So the thing is, I was a maintainer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like people talk about the chair force and like, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But aircraft maintenance, like air power, is one of the most important things for the U.S. military.
Oh, 100%.
You know,
besides naval,
yeah.
The Air Force itself and the air, just our capacity to fight in the air is just like.
Wasn't your dad a pilot?
Yeah, he was a pilot. He flew helicopters.
Dude, that's so cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome. But
thank you.
But yeah, because people don't understand. Like, if you're commanding air power, like a lot of the times you could be sitting behind a computer like directing, but like it takes like thinking. It takes like you got to make quick decisions and stuff like that. So yeah, it's all important. The whole every branch.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's one reason why I'm doing this podcast is to showcase every single service member, whether they're an engineer building cement or structures for forward operating bases or people who are infantrymen who were taking down doors.
Yeah.
So every component in the military is super important, and that's why I want to highlight that service and stuff.
Yeah.
So you worked on jets.
I worked on C-130Js.
Okay.
So it's a cargo airplane, and we ran a lot of flagpole missions, and that's so you gotta understand, that's why World War One, I'm actually a history major, and we're learning about what they pulled off. So within the span, I think it was World War One. Within the span of 1 month, the U.S. military went from 100,000 soldiers to 2 million. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, and so but. I remember being 20 years old, being like, why am I learning this? What is so important about this? And it's I signed up to be there. Mm-hmm. And so I'm thinking back in time, I'm like, what about those people that they didn't even want to be there, they were forced?
Yeah.
But C-130s, basically it's a cargo plane. I worked on the hydraulic system.
Cool.
So the ramp and door, the ailerons, elevator, rudder. So it's flight controls.
Nice.
It's all hydraulic pressure. It's 3,000 psi. Yeah, hydro. But the point of that aircraft is to deliver soldiers supplies. And when I was in, they would be moving cinder blocks and stuff like that. And here you are getting yelled at by the expediter, and it's well, these are cinder blocks.
Yeah. But
that's why in today's time, it's more relevant more than ever for those guys. They're yo, this is real.
Oh yeah, 100%. So do you have any stories of, did you have to go through any basic training or?
Yeah, I went to Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio.
Okay, how's that?
Man, I miss it.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Just the guys, and believe it, our bunk bed, I don't know if anybody's been to prison, but I've never been, thank the Lord, but they have, it's these 2 rows. It's like juvenile correction facilities have them a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And it's just bed after bed after bed, and then you have bed. So I was at 320th training squadron. A lot of people made fun of it because it's called Disneyland, but it's because.
Why do they call it Disneyland?
Because we had the nicest facilities at Lackland, but I will say our MTIs were the most. They were the toughest. Really? At least that's the culture. There's such an ingrained culture in the military, and it's like that for a reason. It's pride, because you gotta, you have to instill that.
Yeah, So it's, from what I've heard from a lot of people, they have such a strict and kind of intense culture to break down that individual
Mhm.
person that you are.
Yeah.
And kind of turn you not into just an individual, but
Mhm.
as a team.
Yeah, it's group mentality.
For sure.
Which a lot of people. So the 3 principles of the Air Force were integrity first,
Yep.
service before self, and excellence in all we do. And
Mhm.
people like laughed about it, but it's like when you are defending America, it's like you gotta have certain things to get everybody to like. So it's like, yeah, I've always kind of been an outcast in a lot of ways. I've
Yeah.
experienced that, but when you're in the military, it's like you don't think about yourself, you think about the guys next to you.
For sure.
Like, how do I protect that person? So it's a little weird getting in the civilian world because people are like, what is this guy going on? But it's
Yeah, because I mean, like, being a civilian, you're worried about yourself, you know, especially in America, you know, like, it's
Yeah.
very individualized, and like, when
which is it's a good thing. There's not well, to a degree it's nuanced.
to a degree. I mean, I've been more recently. I've been kind of. I've been getting tired of being just an individual because there's only so much I can do as
Yeah.
an individual.
Yeah.
But if I have a collective of people that I can trust and rely on, then you can move so much farther.
100%. There's power in people.
Exactly.
There's power in people.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, so let's get into your transition out of the military.
Yeah.
So how was that?
It's been a little rocky.
Yeah.
I will say credit to Troy Bolivar, Emily Noel.
Yeah.
Like, they've been my family. Everybody here at FGCU, Military Veteran Success, SVA, has gone above and beyond to make sure that I feel safe and protected and that, you know, I do well.
Yeah.
They've given me every resource to
Oh, yeah.
the utmost of their ability.
Yeah, they're great people.
Yeah, even if sometimes, you know, people.
Things happen.
Yeah, things happen.
Things
Because people are like, people are people, man.
Yeah,
And
sometimes things change.
Everybody's got their own issues. Everybody's got their own opinions.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's got their own thing going on. So I'm not mad at nobody.
Yeah. So were you able to did you have any support when you jumped out of the military, like, immediately, or did you have time? Did you have a hard time?
I will
finding
say I'm very impressed. I know people have had problems with the VA, and I've had problems with VA doctors.
Yeah.
I do think we need more civilian doctors, because here's the thing.
Like in the VA?
Yeah, and this is not me criticizing what the work that military doctors have put in.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, my experience with privatized doctors versus flight medicine doctors is night and day.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that comparison, like, flight medicine doctors, like, while you were in the military or while you were out
well,
of the military?
the people that were active duty, my doctors were actually pretty rock solid.
Yeah.
But I remember there was one time I had to have an emergency procedure, and they gave me medicine because I was in extreme pain. I'll give them that they gave me the medicine I needed, but they had the tools to, like, perform the operation, but they were like, just go to the hospital.
Really?
Because yeah.
What's that, do you think?
And I think if it would have came down to it, like, if it was a situation like America could possibly go into right now,
Yeah.
they would be good. But I just noticed that, you know, the more money you got, the more they want to take care of you, and that's the problem I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a
Yeah.
common theme in society today,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm glad you had, you know, pretty good support, especially through the VA, because I know
Yeah.
a lot of people have a lot of trouble with
But
it.
I would definitely, I do think the VA should put more, like, funding, and this is way above me right now.
Yeah.
Like, I get it.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, I wanted to ask your opinion, like, if you had if there was, you know, one thing that that you could change in the military, what would it be?
I think, so everybody learns differently.
Yeah.
Everybody. Like, what did they say? Albert Einstein, like, his brain was, like, shaped differently. Like, in school, they called Albert Einstein, like, like slurs because he was so smart and people just couldn't really like understand. But like I've met people that it's like they have a learning disability, but in some ways they're brilliant.
Oh yeah,
like genius.
I mean, there's savants.
Yeah,
people with you know.
But that's, to me, that's derogatory. Like just because, like, I mean, savant is like, I don't mind if somebody like ever said something about being a savant, but it's like you're just different, and there's nothing wrong with being different. Like, this is America, baby. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think
you wish there was more. You wish there was less like kind of discrimination.
Yeah, but because people get bullied growing up, and it's like I think there's a huge issue with over-prescription. There's a mental health crisis in the United States right now.
100%.
There's a mental health crisis, and I've even dealt with the effects of that. Like, I got my own stuff going on. I'll be the first person to tell you.
Oh yeah.
But
you won't be the first veteran I've talked to who's had some issues like that.
Yeah, but I believe that because the world has treated you a certain way, and because you've been, you know, like, oh, I have social anxiety. People have social anxiety because of things that happen to them.
Yeah.
Like, something happened in their childhood. Maybe their parents said something effed up to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it got ingrained in them.
Or like people with ADHD.
Yeah, 100%. And it's like, and this is not an insult to anybody, because like, trust your doctors. But that's why I do your research on who your doctor is.
Definitely.
But like, do I believe like a child should be on, like a 5-year-old should be on 40 milligram Adderall? No.
No.
But that's me. That's my personal belief.
I agree with you.
Yeah, and yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's definitely a tricky situation with, you know, because I feel like doctors are here to protect you.
Yeah.
And you know, they want to make sure that you're
There's
good.
still a bottom line.
Yeah.
And
100%.
that's capitalist America, which I listen, capitalism has lifted more people out of poverty than like anything.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, but there's also, I mean, and that's just human nature. With any system, there's gonna be flaws, because nobody's perfect.
Definitely.
We're human.
Yeah.
You know? But I believe in like socialized healthcare. Like, I mean, it's just we already have Medicaid. FDR put that into place. I think it's FDR. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but that's like Medicaid, and I believe like poor people should be entitled to the same health care that a billionaire is entitled to.
Without a doubt.
And that's just because it's like human mercy, man.
Yeah.
You know?
And inclusion.
Yeah, and inclusion. Like,
It's going back to the individualized society.
Yeah.
You know, as a collective, like, or in a more, like, I wouldn't say hive mind, because that's a weird way to put it, but
it's
like
the machine.
Yeah,
It's
well,
the machine.
if I mean, look at Japan, you know, so.
Oh, I'm Japanese, man. I'm a quarter.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a quarter Japanese. My grandfather was a World War II veteran.
Hell yeah.
And he went and found him a little Japanese shorty. Her name was Setsuko, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
And he brought her back to good old Mississippi. That's how Ellison Felter happened.
How about that?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, you know, the Japanese, they treat their children, like the children of Japan are seen as the responsibility of everybody. It's not just of one family. It's the entire society's responsibility to raise these children.
100%.
And so having that collective mind put towards something, or, you know, just being more involved, it makes it better for everything. Because streets in Japan, I wouldn't say the safest in the world, but they're very, very safe. Where children can run out on the streets.
The Japanese people are so good.
Yeah, the children of Japan.
From my understanding, but I am like, that's my heritage.
Yeah.
Like, I'm proud of my heritage.
Yeah.
But I know my father, my grandmother, they had it, but they were just locked in. You know, they had that Japanese, you know, fire. There's Japanese fire, because it's like the Last Samurai, man. It's like, you know, fight to the death.
For
you
sure.
know? And it's like, I'm not saying go fight to the death, but it's like, whatever you believe in, I believe in what you love. If it's based out of love, yeah, fight for it.
Yeah,
You know?
like being honorable.
Yeah. Yeah,
For sure.
honor. Yeah, exactly.
Honor is a big thing.
Yeah.
I feel like that's been almost forgotten in in America, and that's something that should be more emphasized. But so kind of re-railing back.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah,
you're good.
I like talking.
Yeah, I love having a conversation with you. You're a very cool dude. But so I want to ask. So what was like the most valuable thing that you learned in the military?
Just persistence.
Yeah.
I'd really say just persistence, because it's like, I'm a Christian, man. Psalm 23, though I walk through the valley, I fear no evil. Like, I was in the valley.
Yeah.
Like, the deepest, darkest valley of my life.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And, like, there's things that transpired that have helped shape me. But, it just, but that, like, I hope that I can be, like, a testament to, you can come from the dark and get to, like, good.
Oh, yeah.
Get to the light.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Because you never know, like, you just gotta find where your spot is.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's got
Never know who you're gonna run into.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
100%.
So how'd you see you coming all the way from Louisiana?
Honestly, like, it's kind of,
Hey, that's a far trip.
Yeah, man. Essentially, I basically just said, like, you know what? Let me go somewhere random.
Really?
Yeah,
It's
man.
kind of like dartboard.
Yeah, I didn't actually do the dartboard, but I had, like, I was thinking about Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay.
I was thinking about Miami. I was thinking about a lot of different areas. I was like, let me go get exposed to people that are not where I'm from.
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
How'd you hear about Fort Myers?
So believe it or not, I'm a pretty big video game nerd. I've actually haven't played Xbox in like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
Which is like shocking to me. Like, I
Yeah.
love Sonic and Mario and all
Oh, yeah.
that. But this guy's name is Joe, and I played Xbox with him a lot, and he was like, yo, you should check out HECU.
No way.
It's going on there. And
Really?
Yeah, and I had already been thinking Miami, just because, like,
Yeah.
I know that there's more opportunity.
Uh-huh.
But he was just like, check out HECU. I was like, all right, you know what, send it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I went with my gut.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Filter, for being on the
Sure, man.
podcast.
Yeah.
It was great to hear your perspective, and that's a wrap.
Good